Can you talk to me a little bit more about what the hard light does? Even though it's period, and yeah, you're trying to replicate a certain period, but is there something revealing about it? Is there something, that really fits the character development in the hard lighting, Todd?
I think it both makes someone stand out like a movie star, like it both hyper designs them in a way, and also brings out all these things that we now hide in modern cinematography. It brings out texture and shine and color. And we worked a lot with our makeup department to test different levels and styles of makeup to find that line where like the hard light made people glow and have this shine in a way that they used to on film, but not also make them feel gross. It's like that line where it's sensual and human, but not ugly, or it's ugly beautiful, whatever that is, but I don't know. I think also modern digital cameras are so sensitive that we end up using less light, and we end up using, like, we're taking away light and we're relying on ambience. And like, I find that like, it's just what's in vogue right now is like underexposed and darker and lower contrast, and all those things that happen with that is like you have less color saturation and less shine and less texture. And film stocks were just slower a long time ago, and so you needed more light to like even get the image to hold. So that's just what this show wanted, was like saturation and pop and contrast and shine. And all that comes from like you were saying, Mihai, like frontal hard light. I mean, I remember thinking that like, on this show, fill light is like punk rock. Like I used to think of like fill light as like the word, I remember in like schools, like fill lights, like you'd be embarrassed if you had to turn it on, and it's like, now fill light is cool. Like fill light is where this glow comes and the shine comes out in wardrobe and in faces and skin and color pop. I mean, it's really cool.
So what was your strategy for the lighting then? Using those hard lights, you said frontal hard lights. Are you doing some sort of a bounce fill with the single hard light, or like how are you? And I know this situation changes all the time. So let's pick something. Let's say dialogue scene, interior, daytime. How are you incorporating a hard, frontal light?
I mean, I would say that like basically if the scene is lit by the built-in lights, whatever that is, whether that's fluorescence from above or window light from outside, that's your base. And then on top of that, we're putting a hard light near camera frontal with no diffusion on,
wow.
Like an old style movie. I mean, we're either using like the R15, which is this beautiful hard ellipsoidal LED light, or a Q5. Sometimes, I don't know, Mihai, you guys were using like tungsten lights. Once in a while, we would use like an actual tungsten Fresnel, but usually we were using LEDs to replicate it. But yeah, a full-on Fresnel style hard light with no diffusion.
Wow, that is revealing for sure to the characters. I mean, how did the talent feel about that? It must be so unusual for them to have just a hard light blasting right into their face. Mihai, did you find that talent was sort of feeling this was unusual to them? Did they embrace it?
I think they embraced just the idea of having a film camera. It's like, and then everything changes. Like, we're actually shooting film, and we're shooting like 2 or 3 cameras. I think just the presence of a film camera changes everything. Changes the dynamic.
Really?
Of
You're nodding, Todd. You feel the same way?
Yeah, I do. I feel like people had a sense that we were doing something different's the wrong word, but I actually feel like with a lot of these actors, I feel like they have come from a time when hard light or when lighting was more like that. So actually, maybe they were more comfortable in it. I think about like Sally Field, and like these are like legends that are used to having like special lights in the room. So. In some ways, I feel like it's more disrespectful for an actor to be in a room where there are no lights in the room and no feeling of like, there's like, actors know like, they want us to look this way. My eye line's to the right because there's that big light over there. I feel like they are dancing and interacting with the lights in a way. So for me, I feel like seeing that key light near the camera communicates that like the cinematographer is taking care of them and is thinking about their eye line, their close up, their story.